News First, Newsline Prime with Faraz Shaukatali.
And a very good evening to you. You're tuned into Newsline Live. Newsline Prime is broadcasting live from the Newsfirst studios in Dawson Street in Colombo. 4 years and day one later, most people still talk with some sadness about the greatest financial scam ever to affect the people of this country. There are some who say, perhaps not in the full understanding of what impact this terrible crime that was committed has had, the impact as it has had on Sri Lanka's economy and on the day-to-day living of businesses and the ordinary man. Such people accuse us of having an agenda. I want to say it out here, loud and clear, so that everyone will understand, once and perhaps for all times. We have no agenda, but we do have an objective, and our objective is patently clear. We speak on behalf of the people, and if anybody has impinged on the rules, on the law, and broken the law, then we believe that they need to be fully dealt with to the maximum extent that the law provides. And if it means jailing anybody, no matter what the position or station in life, then so be it. We want to pursue, and we'd like this country to be going that same route of the route of zero tolerance when it comes to corruption, which is, quite frankly, endemic. On that note, to discuss various matters that are on the people's minds and that affect the people, we have with us here Mr. Chandima. Very good evening to you.
Good evening, Faraz.
You know that yesterday was 4 years, at 11:10 approximately, it was 4 years. The Capital Maharaja Group observed a minute's silence to mark this absolutely tragic event. It is as important in contemporary Sri Lankan history, I dare say, as the victory over terrorism. And most people will remember what they were doing when those announcements came in. And I think the people will also remember the bond scam for what it was. Now then, my question to you is, I don't want to go on and on about this bond business, but really, Mr. Virakodi, I want to ask you, what is the opposition doing about this?
Well, it is opposition that brought up this issue. It is we who first complained to the Bribery Commission.
Okay.
It is we who raised it together with the President to take it up. And then, subsequent to that, only the Presidential Commission was appointed.
Yes, now I want to say this, that just to stop you there, that in officialdom perhaps, yes, but it was Newsfirst that really went into it, and on the 1st of March asked for Governor Mahendran to minimum step aside and get out of the way and have an inquiry. Yeah. But I quite agree with you that you all complained to the Bribery Commission, for example. But what have you done since?
Well, you know, one reason for the President's decision to replace the Prime Minister, former Ranil Wickremesinghe, with former Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa in October last year was also not taking effective steps to complete these inquiries, because, you know, everyone knows that there was a finding of a Presidential Commission.
Yes, but you're now counting the President as part of the opposition. I want to know what you in the opposition did.
Yeah, President is also now part of the group, part of the alliance that's in the opposition.
But you know, we'll have all sorts of messages coming across now saying the president can't be the president and the opposition.
No, but you know,
it's like home and home there.
No, but in this country, if you now go to the people, if there's an election,
yeah,
people will want this government ousted.
Yeah.
But unlike, unfortunately, in other countries like in the US, you can't recall a government that is in power. And unfortunately, with the 19th Amendment, the president is not in a position to dissolve this parliament to go for elections upon until completion of 4.5 years. But if you really go to the people, people want us to be opposing this government. That is why all those who understand the pulse of the people are now in the opposition, including the president.
Well, let me ask this question. Let me digress slightly from what I'm trying to find out and ask you, what's your own stance on the 19th Amendment?
Well, 19th Amendment, we, all of us, all 225 of us expected to further strengthen democracy, expected transparency to be further strengthened, expected good governance to be further strengthened in this country. With such thoughts, noble thoughts only, we voted. But unfortunately, we are not seeing the delivery of what we expected. There has been political handling indirectly and directly by the UNP, as we can see now if you look at the operation of the Constitutional Council. We can't be happy even about the appointments, like even previously I have raised it. Had you look at the composition of the previous Constitutional Council, except one, all the others had been UNP and the parties that supported the UNP to be in power.
This 19th Amendment.
Yeah. And also,
will you vote for an amendment? Will you vote at the first opportunity that you may be given to change aspects of the 19th Amendment? Will you vote for that?
Well, certain provisions of the 19th Amendment, I believe, must be amended, but
can you say
not on our own, with proper consultation with the people. Now, for instance,
what do you mean by having a referendum? Is that what you mean?
No, no. Before we draft the amendment, we must take it to the public. We must take our own time in Parliament. Look at the practical side of it. Now take the.
So all of y'all voted for it, and then all of a sudden you find that, for example, the president didn't really have the legal ability to dissolve Parliament, for example. Or, well, to dissolve Parliament. Let's put it that way. Did you not realize about this at the time?
Well, that time everyone wanted to clip off the powers of the executive presidency.
So are you saying that at that time you were of a different opinion, that you wanted
to reduce the
powers even to dissolve Parliament?
Well, no one, I believe, looked at that side.
Why is that?
Because what was in mind of everyone was to get the power back to the Parliament from the executive.
But the Prime Minister was trying to get it all transferred to himself.
So unfortunately,
and at the same time he tried to control the media as well.
Fortunately, the Supreme Court, in their determination, sliced it down at least to this extent. But otherwise, had it been amended,
Mr. Chandima, it was still so confusing and ambiguous that President Sirisena sought the opinion of the Supreme Court as to whether his term was 5 or 6 years.
No,
it was that complicated.
It was that. In fact, he wanted, like, as the president, as we understand, in the draft that was submitted, basically every authority of the president was taken off. Of course, that was not, I believe, prepared by the president, but it was prepared by the Prime Minister and his team.
Yeah.
Even there, we saw even the head of the government, head of the cabinet, were to be the Prime Minister, which was not allowed by the Supreme Court, fortunately.
Okay.
So anyway, it's now when we take it into practice, we see a lot of shady areas of the amendment that we cannot expect what we really expected in establishing democracy, good governance and transparency. Because now as independent members, when 3 independent members could be appointed, still can be appointed. In the last Constitutional Council, UNP Lawyers Association President was one of them. How can UNP, a person who has held the position of the President of UNP Lawyers Association, claim to be independent? So it's not so. I mean, it's very difficult to find people, and they say thereafter, whatever was decided by a vote.
All right.
And now look at what has happened to the judiciary. Now the judges, the Court of Appeal judges, if you look at those who have been promoted to the Supreme Court, I mean, there is no issue about the competency of those who have been promoted. But those who have not been promoted, those who have been denied, there is one judge who has been who is continuing as a Court of Appeal judge since 2011. And there's another, you get about 4 who have been overlooked. And if they are not, my position is, argument of many people in this country is, if they are not competent to be promoted, if they say that there are complaints, I mean, there is a single complaint, there is a single inquiry, there isn't a conviction. So if they are not competent to be promoted to the Supreme Court, then them sitting there as Court of Appeal judges can also be detrimental to the litigants and to the country.
So what do you want them to do then?
No, they have to be told. Either they must be, if has there been anything, any issue, disciplinary issue about them, then they must be dealt with. Otherwise, they must be given the opportunity to be promoted. At least they must be, when they are not chosen, when they are turned down, they must be informed as to why they were turned down. And according to the provisions, views of the Chief Justice must be obtained. Views of the Chief Justice. In one case, they say, okay, because it's because of I mean, it's not a determination or declaration or directive or an order of the Chief Justice. It is only his views that must be taken into consideration, and finally the Supreme Court, the Constitutional Council should decide. But when it suits them, they will say, oh, okay, look here now, according to the view of the Chief Justice. Chief Justice is an individual. I mean, your view as a sitting judge, it's not pertaining to any other judgments. Your view could be different now. Now, former Justice Sarvananda, whilst drawing his pension as a Sri Lankan, he was advising LTT. So it could have been his personal view, would have been in support of the terrorists. But
we're going to take a short break there, Mr. Chandima Veerakudi. Don't go away. After all, this is Newsline Prime. We'll be right back.
News First, Newsline Prime with Faraz Shaukat Ali.
And welcome back to Newsline Prime. We're in conversation with Mr. Chandima Veerakudi. Mr. Chandima, please tell me again, very clearly, what's your stance on the 19th Amendment? Does it need amending? Does it need tweaking? Or is it fine?
It's not fine. It needs to be rethought about.
Do you agree in keeping the way it is, the 2-term limit?
Yeah, 2-term limit
essential.
Is essential. That, I mean, there is no
fixed term of parliament essential, not essential.
No, fixed term of parliament is also There is no issue about it. Not about those things. Now this practicality is about the commissions.
Right.
Whether we are,
They can't be independent, can they? Because
No,
you've got so many people
who are
nominated
not
by the politicians.
politicians. There are so many appointed by the politicians, and certain politicians, they group together, whether they are in the opposition, they sit in the opposition and support the government.
Right.
So, and also now this after 4 years, today, day before yesterday was the fourth. Yesterday was the fourth year of this biggest, not the crime, the financial fraud in this country.
Yeah.
And also, at the same time, we are faced with another huge issue. That is, I mean, why did we fight in this country? With the two main communities fought with each other. Not everyone, but there was a terrorist group.
Yeah,
we fought.
They were terrorists, though.
Yeah, and as a result of that, many lost their lives, whether they are terrorists or soldiers.
Yeah.
But now we fought because it mattered a lot to be independent, sovereign,
Everywhere.
and to maintain our unitary status of our country.
Yeah.
But now this 30/1 resolution before Geneva Convention, the Geneva at the United Nations, is being talked about in this country.
Yeah.
Once again, we understand without the knowledge of the Secretary Foreign Ministry and the diplomats, the foreign service officials in this country, through a directive given by an advisor to the finance minister.
Indeed.
Sri Lanka,
Is now
permanent representative in Geneva, is going to co-sponsor. I believe he has already submitted papers, submitted the signature for co-sponsoring the same resolution.
This is very important information that you're talking about. Have you brought it up to the attention of the President, or are you letting it just find its way to him?
No, President was of the opinion, as we heard over the announced, and to scrap it.
Yeah.
To at least we were all against we were all against hybrid tribunals.
Right.
Now what's going to happen? There'll be foreign judges.
Now, Mr. Chandima, you're a very good politician because you have not answered my question.
Why?
This bond scam, this greatest financial fraud, was the same as the opposition being handed on a silver platter a story that captured the imagination of the entire nation. It's not every day that the central bank of a country is robbed, and so blatantly. Now, you all had it in your lap there. Why is it that you haven't taken this to the masses? Why is it that you all have not gone on and on about this? Why haven't you plugged the case for accountability? You are...
You're wrong. This now, you name anyone now.
Where was your demonstration yesterday?
Prior to this incident, people in this country had only heard about James Bond. But now if you go to any rural village, you go to a child, you ask from a child, they know what a bond is, what a bond scam is, who Mahendra is.
That's in large part thanks to Newsfirst, actually.
We must thank Newsfirst and MTV for taking it to the grassroots. Everyone is aware of this. People, I mean, there is not necessary.
I would have liked, Chandima, to have seen Mahinda Rajapaksa, and after all, he's the leader of the opposition. All you people wanted to be officially recognized as such. Finally, you've got it. Now, I would have loved to have seen this, that you all got together, dropped everything else, because this is really important, and gone on there, marched to wherever, marched to where the Prime Minister's house or residence or office is. But you all didn't do that.
Well, I hope you can recollect, when then the UNP was trying to hide this issue 4 years ago, it was we
Well, actually,
who went there to the we went to the central bank and protested.
So
and
it was left to Mr. Diogunasekara to first suggest the appointment of a presidential commission, and he asked the president to do that. Oh, that's fine. But what I'm saying is, surely you've got to be fed up after 4 years. Why is it that you all haven't had these demonstrations? It hasn't been intense.
Well, I mean, demonstrations we have always organized, but more than that, now look at what has happened to the country. People feel it now, even to demonstrate.
Yes, but normally, like
even
on a May Day, for example,
yeah, for the first time,
you all bus people in from all over the country.
It's financially.
Why didn't you do that
no.
This?
No, I mean, we have certainly this is an issue, but at the same time, people understand now. For the first time in 17 years, we record the lowest GDP growth in this country.
Indeed.
In our history.
Yeah.
It's 3% this year.
Yeah.
And look at our foreign investment, which was 4.3 billion in 2015.
But none of this is
but it is now
to me,
800 million.
Well,
so
none of this is.
This erosion is mainly due to bond scam and the conduct of this government.
Can I just put it to you very simply like this?
Yeah.
Is it because members of the opposition, means the Rajapaksas and their people, their supporters, their MPs and so on, and their officials, is it because they too engaged in some form of bond or financial mismanagement, like bonds, stocks and shares, and so on? We had, during that time, we mustn't forget, we had the pumping and dumping scandal.
Yeah.
Right? Where we had that. Now, is it because y'all don't want to make too much of a big song and dance, because you may upset Ranil, and Ranil might then get all the people, get the AG's department to start filing action here, there and everywhere.
No, Ranil had now 4 years to do all that.
Yeah.
But yet we didn't give up our slogans and demonstrations and pressurizing the government on this issue. Had there been any issue,
why has it
they had
stopped?
now UNP set up FCID, which still we believe is a political arm, because when there is a Attorney General's Department, when there is a CID, when there is police.
This is one thing that I'm going to agree with you.
Yeah, so FCID, okay, now it's still functioning. So FCID being a political arm of the police.
Functioning because
so why couldn't
all these files away to the National Procurement Commission? He sent some somewhere else, and then he took some people out of the FCID. Then he's made a song and dance about appointing the current chief back again, not again, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, so
it's all a symbol.
So it's his problem. Had there been any issue, I mean, if you say, okay, had there been any issue prior to 2015, they would have conducted investigtions, and they had enough time to file action. Without doing anything, it's very unfair for you to say that we are trying to soft pedal. We are not trying to soft pedal. No, but we are very clear about it.
I'm not saying soft pedal. What I'm saying is there some concern on the part of Mr. Rajapaksa?
There is no concern.
If he pushes it too hard, Ranil Wickremesinghe may well prosecute his children, his wife, other members of his family.
Ranil Wickremesinghe has tried all that.
And he's failed.
He has, it's obvious now.
The cases are still pending.
Yeah. So had there been any case, had there been any fraud, he would have filed action long time ago.
Right.
Now, even for now, look at the cases that were filed.
4 minutes,
the two of the cases that were concluded. In 2 cases, Johnson Fernando was acquitted.
Absolutely right.
I mean, it's obvious.
So we are, in short, can we agree that in Sri Lanka we practice a form of democracy that's better termed as revenge-based democracy?
I mean, that has been the case always.
Has it been the case in the previous government?
Yeah. Now look at what happened to Mrs. Bandaranaike. Look at what happened to Ranil Wickremesinghe. He was kept on the. Then look at what happened to, even during our time, what happened to Fonseca. So likewise, This
is all the same.
All the same.
Now then, we got
what
3
is
minutes.
alarming? What is alarming is, as of now, is not any one of these, but the decision to co-sponsor HRC resolution once again,
But the president
damage.
says he doesn't want to do
No,
it.
president is not aware.
Right.
Without the knowledge of the president.
Are you going to drive to his house now?
Without the knowledge of the president, without the knowledge of the the foreign ministry.
But now is he aware?
They have decided.
Now. But is he aware now as we speak?
I don't know. I was.
Maybe you ought to give him a call.
Yeah, we have to give him a call, and he must be now, of course, aware about it.
Right.
But without his knowledge, without the knowledge of the cabinet,
I've got another
how
question.
How can these ministers and the representatives act as traitors? What is going to happen to our future and the future generations in this country? We have to be very careful. Are we agreeable to have foreign judges here? We are, even the Prime Minister, even recently, he was talking about independence of judiciary.
Yes, but
and
there's no
non-independence, yeah.
No
but now he's trying to allow foreign judges to come into this country.
Yes, but he needs a majority in the parliament to do that. He needs to change the
law.
law.
But by doing this, they are trying to commit the parliament.
Or are they just wasting time?
They are not wasting time. They are, if we agree in a joint resolution at the Human Rights Commission, indirectly, we may have to comply.
Is this what the TNA want? Is this what Mr. Sumandaran wants?
More than Sumandaran, some of the international community wants this. And Sumandaran probably is their agent, because Sumandaran is the force that's driving Ranil Wickremesinghe in many matters now, which are detrimental to the country.
Look, I literally got 1 minute left, okay? I want to take you to a little bit current now. Why did the 5 MPs declare their assets and liabilities when the Right to Information Act already exists?
This is another part of a drama.
It's
another part of a drama. Now, what happened to Ranjan Ramanayaka's cocaine story? Now according to him...
Can I be naughty?
Yeah.
Can I be naughty? I'd ask you 2 questions.
Yeah.
One, have you got, well, that somebody is asking that.
Yeah.
Have you got any money from Arjun, the Bond baby?
I haven't got any money. In fact, I have...
Did you make any phone calls to him?
Not at all.
Did you receive any phone calls?
Neither did I receive. Neither did I receive.
Yeah. Last question on that, because of what you said about Ranjan.
Yeah.
You know, Ranjan Ramanayaka. Are you addicted to cocaine? Have you ever used it?
No.
No.
Not.
You're sure about this, right?
Very confidently, I'm
okay.
Yeah.
Well, I had to ask you,
so no,
because you'll be the first person to actually announce that you've not used it.
Yeah, I can always say that.
Do you know anybody who in Parliament has used it?
I don't know about the private lives of parliamentarians.
But openly they're not doing this in...
not in the lobby.
Not in the lobby.
Not in the lobby, that I can say.
Because some of them appeared to act like sort of...
yeah, that of course I felt.
I don't know what the word is now.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Oh, I wish I knew the name. But anyway, you know, when they threw all these, the chilies and so on, they were acting...
Could have been under the influence, I don't know.
Under the influence, that's the word.
Yeah.
Well said. Yeah. That's it, under the influence. Do you know, I've thoroughly enjoyed the program, and I'm glad that you're not an addict.
Yeah.
But I hope very much that you are addicted to real democracy, not this revenge-based democracy.
Absolutely. We
and I
want
hope, because
to further strengthen.
You seem young enough to last the pace, and I hope that you will help make the difference that the people crave for.
Absolutely. That is our determination. We are trying our level best. But unfortunately, today, my concern is nothing but the government's decision to co-sponsor the resolution back again 30/.
Now then, there's one thing. I'm getting a message from one of our viewers. Definitely, folks downstairs, this is the last question.
Yeah.
Now then, they want to know, now that, you know, you said Sumandaran is driving Ranil in most things that's happening, right? So, in the same way, Sumandaran has declared, he's one of those 5 who declared their assets, not just declared their assets, but declared it to the public, so that the public can use it and do whatever they want. Therefore, do you think he will be able to persuade Ranil Wickremesinghe to also release his asset declaration.
All of us have submitted our asset declarations to the Speaker and
yes,
the ministers.
That's no good, because the Speaker keeps it locked up. I can read it, I can't tell my wife about it.
Under Right to Information Act, anyone can get copies of those.
Yeah.
When there is a state mechanism, why do we have to work with an NGO?
Right.
Why is it that we have to work with an NGO? If there isn't a mechanism in operation in the country, that's fine. These are glorified jokes.
You need to, you filed your asset declaration.
We have all filed.
Right.
We have all filed. I mean, there is a mechanism in operation in this country. This is now to draw the attention of the people to something unwanted. In order to, divert attention.
With 3 minutes over, but I wanted to ask you so many questions, including whether you would support a move in which all members of Parliament, including the Speaker and the President, will post their asset declarations or empower the Speaker's entourage to publish their asset declarations on the internet for all to see.
Well, I mean, we don't have to entrust. There is a law that we passed, Right to Information. So anyone has access.
I mean, this is you got to write a letter.
Yeah, but this is not a topic to be taken up at this moment.
No.
Our economy has collapsed.
Yes.
We have big issues. Government finds it difficult to submit a budget. In Geneva, they are creating mayhem as far as regards our future. They are trying to give our country on a platter to
I'm so sorry,
so with all that,
but
we are now trying to talk about our asset declarations, which is, I mean,
so this
then
is
about cocaine. Then cocaine.
Cocaine.
What happened now? Now, according to Rajan Ramanayaka, no one is an addict or no one uses. These are stances taken by the UNP together with their friends to divert attention of the people.
I'm ever so grateful that you've made the long haul trek from Gaul to be here on time. I do really appreciate your presence. We always do. And good luck to you.
Yes,
thank you very much. And that's the way it was on Newsline Prime. Take care. Sorry about the overrun.
Thank you very much, Faraz.
You're very welcome. Thank you. Take care. Good night and God bless.
Thank you.
News First, Newsline Prime with Faraz Shaukat Ali.